Hi, I'm Sharon Oliver, publisher here at CEO Publishing, and I have the great pleasure to sit down with author Eddie Goode. And Eddie, I have had the pleasure of working with you with Audacity, fueled by invincible ignorance. So I want to talk a little bit about your journey. I know that it is a story of redemption, and meeting you and hearing your story, I definitely felt that it was something that would impact men and women. And so I felt a calling to really, undergird this story and help to bring it, to the masses. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., born in Washington, D.C., raised pretty much in Prince George County, Maryland. I came to Virginia on a football scholarship to attend Virginia State University. Graduated in '91, went on a career in law enforcement. A few years at police department in Petersburg, went on to the Department of Corrections, and had a 17-year career in law enforcement.
Okay. And so in the book, we talked about how being an athlete and being in the police department, and then we have a section in the book where we talk about the keeper is now being kept. Tell me a little bit about the writing journey. I know while we were writing, there were several times that there was just like a reflection, a flashback of everything that you went through. And during those times, there were tears within the writing. Tell me a little bit about, for the listeners, a little bit about the process of writing.
Well, the idea for writing came about while I was in prison, and because I wanted to share my story. I wanted to have my voice. The whole investigation and incarceration had its own little spin, and for the most part, factual. And there were some parts in it that weren't factual. The journey in writing, I was released from federal prison in 2009, and here it is 2024. And so the bulk of those years, I was focused on recovery.
Okay.
One as a man and as a father to my son. So I put everything on the back burner, and anytime you have to redeem and recover, like this, it's a process. It's a struggle, and you can't really deal with your emotions in prison.
It's not the place.
It's not the healthiest place to do that. And when you return to society, you don't have time to focus on the therapeutic side of recovery, because as a man, you have to provide and protect.
Right, so you got to get right out there and get going.
So, I was working a week after release from prison, and I never stopped running, working 3 or 4 jobs. So in the process of writing, I started writing years ago, and I got my thesis down. I was advised to do that, and I wasn't able to finish. It was too painful. I was still dealing with a lot of guilt, a lot of regret, a lot of pain, a lot of loss. And when you haven't reached the place of where you want to be as a man, it's hard to revisit what was so painful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know doing some of the tapings where we had to reenact even the orange jumpsuit. I saw times where that, triggered or, brought back memories that were unpleasant.
Well, because you got to bury that, right? You have to bury the parts that are so painful. I know I did, and I encourage men to do the same thing. Like, you got to bury that and then move on. But there's a part in the burying you need some counseling, you need some healing. And so the book for me was a way to heal, and I didn't even realize it during the moments of struggle in writing. That was the healing process. I never had an opportunity to sit and write down actually what happened and then go back to that place.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what is I guess your hope for this book in terms of impact?
Well, it's already had an impact on me, and that was the first goal. It was to heal, but I want to, this is real life. Like, so many men fall, so many men make poor choice. People make poor choices, and so many people give up. And I want people to know that that doesn't have to be an option. I want people to know that you can recover. You can regain your face again, and you can regain your self-respect. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. That's my higher power. And, if that's where you are, that's where you have to follow. And that's it. So
yeah. I remember in the book we talked about brick by brick.
Yeah.
And we talked about being suited for life. So, and you started a podcast, Suited for Life. Tell me a little bit about not so much the podcast, but what is your thought process when you talk about Suited for Life?
Well, Suited for Life that's on the tail end of the journey. And once you allow God to work in your life and, pray and then get out the way, like we like to pray and then fix it. You have to pray, believe, have faith, and continue to work, and then continue to win. And the little small wins leads up to being where you need to be in life. And you start to regain your higher self again, and your confidence and who you are. It's like being reborn, right? And so that's what it felt like for me. So Suited for Life is you're ready.
You're ready.
Again.
Position to win.
Position to win in the right way.
Right.
I was a winner for most of my life, but part of my winnings was manipulated.
Right.
Was
as we talked about being just fueled. We talked about in the book about being like having an out of control plane.
Yeah.
And one of the most profound things that you spoke about, that when you got into what we know as the belly of the well, or deep inside of the prison, one of the things that the belly of the beast, one of the things that God asked you was what?
Do you hear me now?
Do you hear me now? Yeah. So we definitely don't want to give away all of the book, but the book is going to be actually on the shelves in May 2024. We have a launch party coming up. So are you excited about that? How does it feel to be a first-time author?
I don't really know what it feels like. I'm waiting for the book to be in my hand. So it's been a year and a half of this process. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm at a place where I don't put the carrots before the horses. So when it comes, and then I want to enjoy it. Because if you focus on the results, you don't get a chance to enjoy the journey, and the journey is what makes the results sweet. So, but I'm looking forward to it and appreciate the support.
Definitely. And one last thing, in telling such a personal, transparent story, are there any concerns or as an author, because a lot of people are starting to tell their story because by their testimony, others overcome. Do you feel a sense of shame or anything in telling your story, or wondering what would people think? And if so, speak on that, or how, if you're not, then how did you kind of overcome that to take, pen to pad?
Not much shame. You do have some concerns about what, because people can be very judgmental and miss the point or the purpose for writing. And because most often, as all of us have done, we like to deflect on our issues and transgressions and focus on others. It makes us feel good. So I'm sure that's going to raise some eyebrows and questions, but that comes along with being transparent. Right? So I was naked to the world in the wrong way, so now it's a chance for me to be naked to the world in a way where I can tell the truth.
Well, I certainly appreciate you sitting down with me, and it's been a pleasure for Diane and I to work with you on this project. And we definitely are looking for great things, and we're also looking for the things to come and how this book will impact men and women and children alike. So thank you for sitting down with me. Again, I'm Sharon Oliver, publisher, and this is author Eddie Goode for Audacity, Invincible Ignorance.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.